Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving into editing and publishing an original literary text. This lesson is all about shaping our stories and sharing them with the world. We'll explore how to refine our writing and prepare it for others to enjoy. Let's get started on this creative journey together. Today, we're focusing on 3 key learning goals. First, we'll reflect on how our stories can reveal and celebrate our unique cultures. Then, we'll create and publish an original short story or poem, one that combines text and images for a real audience. Finally, we'll sharpen our skills by editing a story or poem, paying close attention to its literary elements and structure. These objectives guide everything we'll do together today. Let's start by warming up with some key literary elements. We're matching clues to what they describe, things like the order events happen, the problem characters face, or who's telling the story. We'll also look at poetic devices, like repetition for effect, exaggeration, and the big idea that runs through a whole text. This helps us get ready to dive deeper into how stories and poems work, so we can appreciate them even more. Let's take a moment to review the warm-up answers together. These key terms form the foundation of our discussion, starting with plot, conflict, and subject, moving through setting and point of view, and including style and theme. We also have elements like speaker, repetition, and hyperbole. Each one plays a specific role in shaping how a story or message comes to life. Keep these in mind as we dive deeper into the topic. Stories are powerful. They carry the spirit of a people, their values, their way of life. Just like Filipino stories show us bayanihan and family, writing about another culture invites us to pause and truly respect what makes us different. Today, we're going to create an original short story or poem inspired by an Afro-Asian culture. This isn't just about words on a page. It's about understanding, empathy, and celebrating diversity. That's why this lesson matters. Let's talk about what a multimodal text really means. It's any piece of communication that uses 2 or more ways to share meaning. For example, a comic strip mixes words and pictures. A podcast blends voice and sound. Even a dance poem combines movement with spoken words. The key idea here is that meaning is just in one mode. It's layered through different forms working together. That's what makes a text truly multimodal. Let's dive into a fun activity called Picture Match. Here, we've got 5 icons, a microphone, an open book, a stack of pictures, theater masks, and a film reel. Each one represents a different type of multimodal text. Your task is to match each icon with the right label from the word bank: podcast, picture books, storyboards, oral storytelling, and films. It's a great way to connect visuals with the kinds of stories and media we experience every day.
Here's the answer key for our picture match activity. These platforms show just how many ways there are to share your short story or poem. You could turn it into a film, tell it out loud through oral storytelling, or create storyboards to map it visually. Picture books bring stories to life with images, and podcasts let you reach listeners with your voice. Each option offers a unique way to connect with an audience.
When we talk about multimodal texts, we're really looking at how different forms combine to communicate meaning. There are 3 main categories. First, complex digital texts, things like films, animations, documentaries, and web pages. Then, live multimodal texts, dance, oral storytelling, and live presentations. Finally, simple multimodal texts, comics, picture books, posters, ebooks, and social media. Each group uses multiple modes in unique ways, shaping how we experience and understand the message. Let's talk about simple texts, specifically comics and picture books. These are stories where pictures carry just as much weight as the words. Picture books blend images and text to tell a story together, much like the Filipino comics many of us grew up with. Comics and graphic novels do the same, using visuals and words side by side to create meaning. It's a powerful way to engage readers, especially when the story is simple but the message is strong. Let's talk about 2 simple but powerful tools: posters and storyboards. Storyboards are a series of drawings arranged in sequence. They map out how a video or scene will unfold, shot by shot. Posters, on the other hand, are large printed images or notices, usually displayed on walls to catch attention, decorate, or advertise. Both help us communicate ideas clearly and visually, each serving a unique purpose in storytelling and messaging. Let's talk about storytelling, the oldest kind there is. Oral storytelling uses spoken words and actions to share ideas, long before writing was a thing. Today, social media apps like Facebook, Instagram, and X carry on that tradition, letting us share stories and connect with others in new ways. So, even with all our technology, the heart of storytelling remains the same. It's about sharing experiences, one voice at a time. Let's explore more types of multimodal texts, ways we combine words, sound, and images to communicate. Films use moving pictures on a screen to capture drama and emotion in a powerful way. Podcasts are audio shows you can download and listen to anywhere, bringing stories and ideas right into your ears. Then there's poem recitation, reading poetry aloud, using your voice's pitch, stress, and pauses to bring out the feelings behind the words. Each one connects us differently, using multiple senses to deepen understanding. When we start editing, it helps to have a clear checklist. First, we look at point of view, is it consistent and clear? Then, dialogue, does it sound natural and move the story forward? Next, plot and content, are the events logical and engaging? We also check descriptive language, is it vivid without being overdone? Sentence structure matters too, varying length and style keeps readers interested. Finally, grammar and punctuation, the small details that make writing polished. Use this checklist to guide your first step in editing your story or poem. When we edit, clarity is king. That means reworking sentences that feel unclear or clunky so they flow smoothly. We want a good rhythm too, mixing short, punchy sentences with longer, more complex ones keeps the reader engaged. Watch out for sentence structure. Break up anything that's too long or awkwardly joined. And don't forget consistency, especially with verb tenses. Keeping those steady helps your writing feel polished and professional. When we edit description and plot, it's crucial to ensure every character action feels motivated. Nothing should seem random or unexplained. We also want to spot and fix any gaps or contradictions that might confuse the reader. On the plot and content side, adding sensory details, sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and textures brings the story to life. Using vivid, specific descriptions for your characters makes them feel real and memorable. These tips help tighten your story and deepen the reader's experience. When we edit dialogue and point of view, consistency is key. We want to keep the narrator's perspective steady, no sudden switches unless there's a clear reason for it. For dialogue, the goal is to make conversations feel natural and flow smoothly. Each character should have a distinct voice, something that sets them apart and makes their words believable. These tips help keep the story clear and engaging for the reader.
When it comes to sharing your story or poem, there are lots of ways to do it online. You could make a film, tell it out loud, record a podcast, create a storyboard, or even design a picture book. But here's the key. Pick just one platform to publish your work. And whatever you choose, always keep internet safety in mind. Sharing your creativity is exciting. Let's make sure it's also safe.
Let's look at a guided example from a student's work. They chose a real Filipino setting, the palengke, or market, to bring their description to life. You can see how they added smells, sounds, and colors to make the scene vivid and immersive. The teacher's comment encourages adding even more sensory details as the character enters the market. This example shows how descriptive language can deepen the reader's experience. Let's pause here to check our understanding. Multimodal texts come in many forms, from documentary films to oral storytelling, comics, and live multimodal presentations. Each combines different modes like images, sound, and text to create meaning. Your task is to list 3 types of multimodal text and give one example for each. This helps us make sure we're clear on how these varied formats work together. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on our writing journey. Think back to the story or poem you created. What parts did you do well? What strengths can you build on? And just as important, what areas still need work? Reflection helps us grow by recognizing both our progress and the challenges ahead. This isn't about perfection, but about understanding where we are so we can keep moving forward. As we wrap up, let's reflect on some key questions. Why do multimodal texts matter so much in storytelling and communication today? How did the platform you chose shape the way you told your story? And what literary elements did you focus on while editing? These questions help us pull together our learning, highlighting the choices we made and the skills we sharpened along the way. This is where your takeaways come into focus.
Let's take a moment to recap what we've covered. Writing about culture pushes us to think deeply and appreciate the differences around us. Once we finish our story or poem, we share it through a platform. Maybe a picture book, a podcast, or even a film. Editing is key. We check grammar, sentences, descriptions, plot, dialogue, and point of view. And remember, a multimodal text blends two or more modes, like words, pictures, and sound, to tell a richer story. As we wrap up, remember this: keep editing, keep creating, and keep sharing your work. Every story you tell adds something unique to the world. So, now it's your turn. Go out there and tell your story. We can't wait to see what you make.
This video was created with SlideSpeak. Visit SlideSpeak to turn your presentations into engaging AI-narrated videos.